Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Gregory Bryant and I'm here at Intel in Hillsboro, Oregon, and we're broadcasting live. And we're doing it live from one of Intel's biggest, largest, most advanced technology and manufacturing sites in the world. And you know, today's a special day. Today, the moon is going to pass between the sun and the earth, creating a total solar eclipse, a truly once-in-a-lifetime event, and there are millions of people who've come to Oregon just to experience it firsthand. And I'm going to be watching it too, but I know not everyone can experience that total solar eclipse, at least from the path of totality. Not everyone can experience it in person. And if you think back to prior eclipses, 1918 was the last coast-to-coast total solar eclipse. That was it. You were either here, you experienced it in person, or you missed it. Or maybe even best case, you saw it in the newspaper in one of those grainy images the next day. But here's the amazing power of technology today. It's so rich, it's so immersive, it's so powerful that it can actually enable you to experience life's most important moments no matter where you are in the world, from any location. And that's why we chose this morning, more than any other morning, to launch our new 8th generation core processor family. The advancements we made in this core processor family have the ability, the capability to transport you from being a spectator to really being a participant in the experiences that matter most. And we built that 8th generation processor technology to not only provide you with the experiences you want and that you need today, but we also built it for what's next. Now, you're probably wondering how we do all this. And truth be told, the processors we make here at Intel are some of the most complicated devices and technologies made by human beings at all. In fact, what I have here is an 8th generation core processor wafer. And there are hundreds of processors on this wafer, on this small wafer. And in fact, at Intel now, we have the ability to cram about 100 million transistors into 1 square millimeter, about the size of the tip of a pencil. And you know how they say it's not rocket science? Well, they're right. It isn't rocket science. It's way harder than that. So hey, let's get started. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to some of the smartest and most creative people I know. And we're going to explain how we made the Intel 8th generation core processor. We're going to talk to and show you why we believe it's going to create a bolder and more personal computing experience. And finally, we're going to show you how its raw strength and performance will change the way you experience the world around you. In fact, we've got a surprise in store for all of you. We're going to give everyone out there a front row seat to the solar eclipse, regardless of where you are in the world. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the 8th generation core processor family. This new technology is going to power some of the coolest PCs out there, and it's going to usher in a new era of personal computing. So let's check it out.
Sometimes in life, the smallest advantage can make all the difference. So just imagine how your computing experience might change with a performance improvement of up to 40% over the previous generation and up to double the performance of a 5-year-old PC. From 4K video consumption and content creation to virtual and mixed reality, awesome gaming, business and personal productivity, strong security, and amazing battery life, Intel Core 8th generation processors deliver up to 40% performance improvement over our previous generation and up to 2 times improvement over systems that are 5 or more years old, putting you in the driver's seat.
Well, now that everyone's seen the power and the performance of 8th generation core processors, I thought it might be great to come in here into the lab where I've got Jim Johnson and Karen Regis to explain a little bit more about this processor family and what makes it so special. So is it a good time, guys?
Perfect time. In fact, we were watching your live stream, so we anticipated your arrival.
Well, cool. Well, instead of just doing the live stream, I thought it might be great to come in here into the lab and let people experience things firsthand. So maybe you could start, Karen, and tell people a little bit about what makes 8th generation core processors and that family so special.
All right, absolutely. So the 8th gen Intel Core processor is our most powerful technology to date. And we've put more performance and capability than ever into our mobile 15-watt Core i5 and i7 processors. We've added 2 powerful and power-efficient cores, and we created a quad-core processor that fits into the same tiny package as its dual-core predecessor.
Wow, that is small. Holy cow.
Right, and that's based on 14 nanometer, but we'll extend the family to 10 nanometer with some future introductions.
All right, so 10 nanometer, 14 nanometer, quad-core processor. I know for the non-engineers out there, it might be a lot to take in. So maybe JJ, you could say a little bit more about how it changes, why that matters.
Yeah, let me add to what Karen was saying. So when we embarked on developing the 8th Gen Core processor, we went and surveyed our customer base, and we found a broad desire of different device types, screen sizes, battery life, power, and many, many, many new usages. But they all boiled down to like one common theme. People wanted a better machine, a much, much faster machine, and one easier to use.
Sure, I believe that.
Right, and that's why we're so excited, because starting today, we're going to be able to deliver all of that. So in addition to the 40% performance improvement that we've talked about, we're also going to be able to have, it's going to light up just really amazing experiences for the end user. So I know you're a marathoner, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I did my first one last year.
Well, congratulations.
With my dad, yeah.
Good.
Cool.
But imagine if you could have a 40% faster time.
Okay, so yeah, 40%, especially for me, that would have helped get me off the course about an hour and a half sooner than I finished.
That's huge, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
And that 40%, that's just what we've done generation over generation. But for the 450 million people out there who have 5-year-old PCs or even older, the performance leap is going to be even more dramatic. So they're going to be able to see from double, even up to 13 times the performance improvement depending on their usage. And that kind of performance, you're going to be able to see and feel that.
Wow, so double the 13x, kind of the older life install base. That's definitely something people are going to see and feel every single day.
Yeah.
So tell me more, how's that going to change the experience?
Well, it's going to change everything. I mean, it's going to be, to Jim's point earlier, everything's going to be just better and faster and easier. So performance there in spades, but we also, with 8th Gen, are going to provide really immersive entertainment experiences, as well as simplicity and just simple convenience.
So experiences like, now I'm looking behind you and I see this green screen and there's something going on. What's that about?
So Chris is actually watching a live stream from the coast in Oregon, 360-degree view that hopefully will break through the fog and be able to see the eclipse.
Yeah, if there's any doubt that we're doing it live, there's the fog on the Oregon coast that hopefully will lift.
Yeah. So,
but basically, that's 360-degree VR kind of experience.
Live.
He's embedded into it, and
He
people
is.
can see the solar eclipse. They can feel it, experience it live.
Yeah, absolutely. Previously we've had, maybe photos or flat 2D videos.
Right.
But now with this technology, we'll actually be able to, effectively teleport people right into that path of totality right there in Lincoln Beach, provided that the fog lifts and nature, cooperates.
Yeah, and on top of immersive experiences, you can now take your high-def 4K content movies with you and stream them on one charge up to 10 hours.
10 hours on one charge.
10 hours, yeah. For example, Lauren behind us, as part of our validation suite, she's been binge watching Stranger Things since midnight.
Wow,
So when you
how do I get that job?
Yeah.
That seems like tough duty.
yeah, and so when you bring 8th Gen Core to work, we built in all the capabilities so you can do heavy workload multitasking on your day job.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And I know that, with the performance, these things take only a fraction of the time that it used to take to deliver these new experiences, whether it's content or the productivity.
Oh yeah, the professionals that create this content on a 5-year-old PC, it would take 45 minutes, they can now do in 3 minutes.
Wow,
it's amazing.
That's amazing.
But people do work too, like you said, and so for things like multitasking, this Dell system here, beautiful system.
Wow.
It's just going to get that much better at doing the kind of things that we all do every single day, like browsing the internet with multiple tabs open, or working on multiple big PowerPoint files, which we do all too often here at Intel.
Right.
But beyond that gorgeous Dell system, we have other.
Well, I love the edge-to-edge display on this. It's really stunning. This is a great design.
Yeah. So we also have this Acer 2-in-1 system. Big, beautiful screen. It's going to be perfect for doing things like photo or video editing. It's going to have that performance and space, be able to do those types of things. And
So
then,
still thin and light, but a 15-inch display, and it's convertible, obviously. You see it flipped over. Wow.
Right, and then Jim over there has a new Lenovo system.
Yeah.
And that has, it's a sleek design, but it also has security built in, so it's just going to make things so simple.
Man, that's so light. I think if I put it in my briefcase, I might forget that it was in there altogether. It's pretty amazing.
And this HP system in front of you, as well as built-in security for passwords, it also has face and fingerprint recognition.
Right.
And so you can do all your online banking and shopping securely. We've also made it simple because we not only do we have Intel Wi-Fi, but we've put our 4G LTE modem in it, so it's always connected.
So this thing can be always on, always connected, and then it also has security built into it, so you can be safe and secure while you're on there. That's very cool, very cool.
Yeah, but we also made sure that, you know, the 8th generation Intel Core processor family is going to work hand in hand with Windows 10 to do, you know, amazing new experiences like inking or voice, or I think you have Windows Mixed Reality over there.
Yeah, so on this sleek Asus machine, Microsoft's been allowed us to do a sneak peek of their Story Remix application. So here we have some home video clips that, you know, you and I would
Story Remix. So this is basically taking, looks like some snippets of soccer video, like for your family, like I have kids, and you stitch them together into a movie, and then beyond that, you can actually annotate and circle things and draw like right on the movie and have kind of overlaid comments.
It's really cool, yeah.
Wow, that is really neat. And all that with the power of 8th generation core. This is a super slick, sleek notebook, and it can all be done with that performance very, very easily.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool, JJ.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap up in the lab, I mean, there's a lot of really great examples. It's only a small handful, right, of what people can expect for holiday, and I know they're going to be excited about it. But before we wrap up, it looked like some of the viewers have questions. That's one of the benefits of doing this live is we get some questions. So I'm seeing a lot of questions about how 8th generation stacks up against other offerings. So maybe that one, Karen, you could take.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, first, I'd like to give a shout out to all of our engineers who really made this product possible. A lot of people put a lot of work into it, so thank you for that. But with that, you know, we're confident that we have a leadership product here. Not only are we delivering great performance, but we're also delivering other capabilities that we know that end users want. So you see the sleek systems here. We have long-lasting battery life, and you know, very soon end users are going to be able to go into the store and just judge for themselves.
Yeah. No, I totally believe that. Seeing and feeling it's definitely going to be dramatically different with 8th generation core. And as we said earlier, it doesn't just do what you want to do today. It also is built for the future, which is really, really exciting. So the second question we saw, and I know there are a lot of these questions out there, I've read them this morning, is there are a lot about, obviously we're launching the mobile line of products first for thin and light and premium notebooks, but what about folks who want a new desktop? So maybe Jim, you could take that.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we're just starting today, a very, very busy summer and fall. So we'll follow up shortly with our desktop product line. And then right after desktop, we'll come to market with our corporate and enterprise products and enthusiast mobile notebook products.
Oh, so now through the end of the year, it's going to be super busy as we roll out the rest of the 8th generation family.
Yeah.
So very good. Well, hey, thank you guys for your help, and for showing these wonderful systems in the lab and taking people through 8th generation core, and for all your help, and for helping me answer the questions as well. And obviously, we could sit here and talk about 8th generation core all day. I love being in the lab. This is probably one of the best places to be in the company. But I have I think, a better idea.
Okay.
You guys know this. We've been working with an artist, Greg Downing. He's a photogrammetrist, and he's currently outside of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where he is creating a VR experience for the solar eclipse. So why don't we go out to him and take a look at how he's using technology to advance his work. So with that, let's go take a look.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Photogrammetry is a process where we create 3D models from photographs. By combining virtual reality and photogrammetry, we can take people to very special places, places that most of the world will never get to see any other way. At XRES Studio, one of the things that has been our mission is to take some of the most magical and inspirational places in nature and bring those into VR so that we can share them. In the late 90s, early 2000s, photogrammetry was a very difficult and tedious process. We would spend weeks just trying to get maybe 15 photographs calibrated together, and it took a lot of computing power just to do that. The advancement of the amount of compute that we can throw at a problem has completely transformed what we've been able to do with photogrammetry. Part of what we like to do at XRES is that we like to go and find natural phenomenon that are magical and inspiring. And the eclipse is a very rare and wonderful natural phenomenon that we hope to allow the rest of the world to see that missed it. One of the challenges that we're facing with the eclipse is the very rapid change in light. We're only going to have like 2 minutes to get all the photographs that we want that capture all of this different physical phenomenon. Traditionally, we've taken our photos, packed up our cameras, flown halfway around the planet, back to our offices, and started the work. What we can do now is, before we even leave the location, we can download those photos, put them on a fast, small, light computer, and we can quickly run through a draft to see if we have everything that we need. These new changes in computer performance, we're hugely excited about seeing that kind of increase in power and compute. We want more. Just keep it coming. We need even more. We'll use everything you can give us for processing power.
Well, hey, while Greg was sharing his story, I managed to make it up here to the roof at Intel to watch the eclipse. You know, Greg's work is really incredible, and I can't wait to see the final product. And, you know, great news is we'll be making that solar eclipse VR experience available to everyone in the coming weeks so they can see it in person and you all can experience it. What's even more exciting is that the work Greg is doing is just one of the ways that 8th Generation Core unlocks new experiences. Now, we recognize that everyone out there has different needs and different desires for their PC. And the good news is that 8th Generation Core brings outstanding performance, and it offers even more choice to everyone out there to meet those needs. Now, devices are starting to go on sale today, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And as well, I know many of you are asking not just about the notebook, but our desktop processors, and we're going to have more to share on that soon. But suffice it to say, if you love what we did by delivering more performance and more cores in our notebook line, you're going to love what we have in store for you on our desktop line. So, until that time, I'm going to take this opportunity to celebrate the launch of our 8th Generation Core product family by taking part in this epic event with my team. So hey, are you guys ready? All right, everyone. Let's put the glasses on. And with that, have a great eclipse, everyone. Take care. I'm out.